Hello everybody and welcome to another Naval Action ship review. So it's been a long time waiting and I apologize for that, but either way, here we are with the Bucentaure, the ship which there's a feature of which some people hate and some people love. Personally I love it, and it's the house on the poop deck. I call it the Fab Shack, but that's just me, a man needs his personal space. So anyways, on to the review. The Bucentaure. So first off, like tradition is, I'll first go through the history quickly. So the Bucentaure, she was historically rated as an 80-gun third-rate ship of the line in the French Navy. Of the French Navy, I mean. She was only rated as an 80-gunner in the French Navy since they didn't use first, second, third, and I don't believe they used rate. I think they only rated based on gun counts and not first, second, third, etc. But I might be wrong. Anyways, the Bucentaure, she was the lead ship of the Tonnant class. And on the 6th of November, Vice Admiral Villeneuve hoisted his flag on the Bucentaure, and the Bucentaure also hosted the franco-spanish war council while sheltered from the British fleet at Cadiz. The rule, of course, during this council was to remain in safe waters. However, this was later overruled by Villeneuve. And during the council, Spanish General Escano complained that the atmospheric pressure was descending, which is a sign of an approaching storm. And French Vice Admiral Magon famously reported, "The thing descending here is braveness," upon the decision of going out, I believe. And this offended Admiral Gravina and other Spanish officers who did not oppose the later order of taking to sea. At the Battle of Trafalgar on the 21st of October 1805, she was commanded by Captain Jean-Jacques Magandy, and of course she was flagship of the franco-spanish fleet, with Admiral Villeneuve having his flag there. The British flagship on the opposing side, the HMS Victory, would break through the franco-spanish line just astern of the Bucentaure and would rake the Bucentaure, and she would lose 197 men and 85 were wounded, so this is more than a fourth of the men lost in a single rake, which is a lot. And Admiral was lucky to survive, however the captain, he was wounded. And the raking put the Bucentaure effectively out of the fight. However, she still kept on fighting for 3 hours until she struck her colors and surrendered to Captain James Atcherley of the Marines from the HMS Conqueror. And Villeneuve supposedly asked whom he was surrendering to, and on being told it was Captain Pellew, he replied, "There is no shame in surrendering to the gallant Sir Edward Pellew." When he was informed the Conqueror's captain was not Sir Edward, but however his brother, he said, "England is fortunate to have two such brothers." In the following days, the Bucentaure crew would rise up against the British prize crew, and the ship would be recaptured and be under French hands again. However, as some other ships which also met the same fate, she was to be wrecked in the gale force storm of the 23rd of October 1805. Anyways, that was her history. Now, the Bucentaure in naval action. In naval action, she is an 88-gun second-rate ship of the line. Granted, historical rating is not the same as actual gun count, so keep that in mind. And the Bucentaure also has a battle rating of 630, which is exactly the same as the Pavel. The Bucentaure also has a crew of 840, which is 40 more than the Pavel and 10 less than the Victory. And just like the Pavel, the Bucentaure doesn't have any bow chasers. She only has two stern chasers, which consist of 9-pound cannons or 68-pound carronades. For broadside guns, the Bucentaure can carry 32 42-pounders on the bottom gun deck, 32 24-pounders on the middle gun deck, and on the weather deck she can either carry 24 12-pound cannons or 42-pound carronades. As a result, the broadside weight of the Bucentaure with cannons is an impressive 1200 pounds, which is 162 more than the Pavel's 1038 pounds. Of course, the Pavel's broadside weight is limited by its 6-pounders on the weather deck, which the Bucentaure doesn't suffer from. The Victory sits at 1296 pounds, of course, it also being able to carry 12-pounders on its top gun deck and its weather deck. The Victory has, of course, also 18 more guns, which is not a insignificant amount. With carronades, things however do get interesting. The Pavel is still the underdog with 1230 pounds, which is due again to the low caliber of the guns, with the weather deck being 24-pounders and the poop deck being 12-pounders. However, while the Bucentaure lost to the victory when using just cannons in a carronade layout, the Bucentaure wins. The victory ends up with a broadside weight of 1,506 pounds, while the Bucentaure takes the lead with a broadside weight of 1,560 pounds, which is a 54-pound difference, which is rather impressive considering the victory has one more gun deck and 18 more guns. Armor-wise, the three ships are rather similar, and the Bucentaure is right in the middle of both of them, being the Pavel and the victory. The Pavel has a bow armor of 44 centimeters, a side armor of 73 centimeters, and 29 centimeters for the stern armor. The Bucentaure meanwhile has a bow armor of 44 centimeters, which is the same as the Pavel's, side armor of 74 centimeters, and stern armor of 30 centimeters. Both of them are 1 centimeter more than the Pavel. The victory meanwhile has 45 centimeters for its bow armor, one more than both the Bucentaure and Pavel, 75 centimeters for the side, which is one more than the Bucentaure, and 30 centimeters for the stern, which is the same as the Bucentaure. So in terms of armor, both ships are pretty similar, and in practice you can consider them identical in terms of armor. However, do keep in mind that the armor counts does not account for any curves or design of the hull. So in pure armor thickness, so assuming 90-degree angle and everything, they are the same. In structure, the Pavel has a bow structure of 2,450, side structure of 9,800, and stern structure of 980, which is less than the Bucentaure, which has bow structure of 2,503, which is about 50 more than the Pavel, side structure of 1,013, about 200 more, and a stern structure of 1,001, which is 20 more. This is less than the victory. Granted, the victory is a first rate while the Bucentaure is a second rate. The victory has bow armor of bow structure of 2,875, side structure of 11,500 and a stern structure of 1150. So in terms of structure and armor, the Bucentaure is right in between the Pavel and the victory. However, in terms of structure, she is closer to the Pavel. So we've gone for the ornament and the armor / structure. Now for the bits which in my opinion make or break a ship, and that's her characteristics in terms of both sailing and turning. So the Pavel and the Bucentaure are very similar in that both are very fast, with the Bucentaure having a speed of 11.66 knots, and the Pavel does 11.42 knots. Granted, 11.42 knots is a significant step down from 11.66 knots. However, the Pavel was, before the introduction of the Ingemanland, the speed queen. Now, it's taken over by the Bucentaure, which took the title from the Ingemanland. However, of course, the Ingemanland still has the advantage of having the bow chasers. Both ships are, of course, faster than the victory. In terms of turn rate, the Bucentaure is the best. The Bucentaure has a turn rate of 2.29, while the Pavel only has a turn rate of 2.13, and the victory slowly improves the Pavel's turn rate by putting it up to 2.14. This means that in terms of sailing qualities, without a doubt, the Bucentaure is the best. What this also means, the Bucentaure will be taking over, in my opinion, the Pavel as a boarding ship, since the Bucentaure has more crew, she is faster, and she has better guns. Well, actually, in my opinion, the Bucentaure will take over the Pavel in all setups, but I'll leave that till the conclusion. So, as such, there are two setups I would choose for the Bucentaure. There's the boarding setup, which you put in the boarding modules like barricades and such, which, I'm sorry, I don't do boarding, so I don't know what the best modules are. The other thing you could do is the just regular gunnery upgrades, in which case I'd put in magazine access, copper plating to accentuate the speed, unless of course you go for a tanky Bucentaure, in which case I'd probably go for extra planking. However, personally I prefer my ships fast, and possibly studding sails, which also improve the speed of downwind ships, which will improve the fastness of the Bucentaure. And for non-permanent upgrades, I would put the following modules: powder monkeys, rum rations for the extra reload, extra hammocks for the extra crew, which is always nice, and charismatic boatswain for the extra, crew movement around in case you take a lot of leaks or if something happens. That's my personal opinions. Leave your suggestions below what you would put on your Bucentaure. Previously I had steel toolbox listed, but well, I wouldn't do that anymore. In terms of boarding, well, in terms of boarding, as I said, I don't have a clue, so tell me what you would put on your boarding ship. Anyways, next up, the conclusion. Finally, we're here. You've seen the entire thing, you've listened to it. So what do I think overall of the Bucentaure? Well, the Bucentaure will be the second-rate ship of the line choice. In my opinion, she's both prettier than the Pavel. Granted, this is subjective. She has more crew, which can be an advantage. Of course, you need more crew to fully crew her. However, a lot of people at Commodore rank sail the Victory. I would say Bucentaure you can perfectly fine sail at Commodore rank. She has more guns. She has bigger guns on her weather deck. Granted, she only has 6 more guns, I mean. The bigger guns on the weather deck is significant, however. And of course you have the Fab Shack, which I love. The only shipping game to date with Fab Shack. And fun fact, French ships used to have those shacks on their ships. However, I believe that usually at times of war they would remove it. However, of course, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't surprise me if they had the Fab Shack there for the discussion before going out of Cadiz, the board council. But anyways, regardless of what you think of the Fab Shack, it's there to stay. So personally, a Bucentaure loaded with carronades is excellent competition to even the Victory due to the larger broadside weight and significantly better sailing qualities in both turning and speed. Leave feedback, what do you think of the Bucentaure yourself? And in terms of this new video style, so previously I recorded while I played. So I recorded my view and I played the game itself at the same time. This meant that I got distracted at times, and in hopes of improving video quality, I am recording sound and video separately this time. So I hope this is better for everyone. Hopefully it'll reduce the times of the videos as well. And that's it. Next week I'll probably be reviewing, let me just check my list just a second. I'll be reviewing the snow next week. So I won't leave you guys waiting like I did with between the last one, which was the Fire Frigate, and this one. It'll just be a week, I promise. I've already written the review. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.